A new study has found that the risk of developing an incurable brain disease associated with repeated head impacts is linked to the length of rugby players' careers. Our senior reporter Rob Dawson has been looking at the report. What does it say?
Well, Nick, we've known for some time that repeated head impacts and concussions in sport, rugby, football, or in outside life increases the risks of dementia and other brain diseases later in life. That's long been established in various studies. And Professor Willie Stewart at Glasgow University is the guy who's the leading expert in this field. And it was him who first established the link many years ago. And it's his latest study that we're talking about here now. And it is decided and found that a player's risk of developing a brain disease caused by repeated head impacts is relative to the length of their career. So in simple terms, each additional year of playing rugby leads to an increased risk of 14% for each year of developing chronic traumatic encephalopathy, which is a long word. CTE we'll call it from now on, and that's closely associated with dementia, but isn't quite the same as dementia. So in effect, we're saying that for every year that a rugby player plays rugby, they have a 14% increased chance of developing this incurable brain disease. And in this study, they found CTE present in 21 of the 31 brains that Professor Willie Stewart analysed. And those were brains in the United States, in the United Kingdom and in Australia, all of whom had played rugby. And at various levels as well. Some of these players were playing at amateur level, some were playing at elite level as well. And so let's give you a quote from Professor Willie Stewart, who was the study's lead. These results provide new evidence regarding the association between rugby union participation and CTE. Specifically, our data shows risk is linked to the length of rugby career, with every extra year of play increasing risk. Based on this, he says, it's imperative that the sports regulators reduce exposure to repeated head impacts in match play and in training to reduce risk of this otherwise preventable contact sport-related disease. So that's the campaigning part of what Professor Willie Stewart is talking about. His study, with a fairly small number of cases that he studied, you have to say, only 31 brains analysed in total, but 68% of those have found a direct causal link between the amount of time you play rugby and the likelihood of you developing dementia and other diseases later in life.
Willie Stewart, as you were hinting, has researched into the impact of footballers heading balls as well as rugby, and there is sad news about a footballer who's been affected by this.
Yeah, that's right, and this is somebody we've featured on Sky Sports News quite a lot. The Middlesbrough player Bill Gates, whose wife, Dr. Judith Gates, founded the campaign group Head for Change to try and get more support and more awareness of ex-players living with this condition. He has died at the age of 79. This is Bill on screen now at his care home in Middlesbrough when we filmed with him up in April, and his abilities with the balloon were quite extraordinary because he didn't speak very much by this stage and was struggling with his health, but had reached a plateau, I think is the way that Judith described it. So very sad news that he has passed away at the age of 79. And it's Michael Carrick, the Middlesbrough manager, who's actually led the tributes to the passing of Bill. He says, I think I can speak for everyone at the club when I say what sad news this is. On behalf of myself, the players, the staff and everyone connected with Middlesbrough, our thoughts are with Bill's family and friends at this time. So on the day when we're talking about a new important medical study into the effects of head impacts and in sport, if you like, in rugby, and the long-term impacts that can have on the brain, clear evidence with the passing of Bill Gates of just how tragic those circumstances can be in the long run.
Rob, thank you.